So this is the first program to develop a flowchart and algorithm that takes the three coefficients a, b, c and of a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c as an input and compute all possible roots. So this is what we need to find out, that is all possible roots, taking this a, b, c as the coefficients. Quadratic equation 2x square plus 5x plus 3 is a quadratic equation, and here a is equal to 2, b is equal to 5 and c is equal to 3 are the coefficients. This is 2, a, b and c are the coefficients. Now x square minus 3x, this one is little more tricky. So where you have x square minus 3x, wherein a is equal to 1, where a is equal to 1 and 1x square. So you have 1x square. So a becomes 1. B is equal to minus 3, where this is x and here the coefficient is minus 3. And the next one, c is equal to 0, where c is equal to 0. Now 5x minus 3, this is not a quadratic equation then, because it is missing x square. So if it is missing x square, then it is not a quadratic equation. But in this case, x square minus 3x is a quadratic equation. Now formula for getting roots of the quadratic equation. Getting roots of the quadratic equation is x is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. You can see minus b and this b value is 5. So minus b root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Let's understand this in depth. Now a, b, c are the numerical coefficients of the quadratic equation. A, x square, bx plus c. This a, b and c is equal to 0. Now x is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac. And you can see, and this is with the roots symbol. So and inside this root symbol you have b square minus 4ac. So it is b square minus 4ac is positive, and there are two solutions for this. So b square minus 4ac is positive, then the two roots x1 and x2. b square minus 4ac is 0. There is only one real solution. b square minus 4ac is negative. If this becomes negative, if this becomes 0, if this becomes positive. So these are the values. You have a complex solution. Now let's look at this in depth. So here, this is the program written for this. Now let's understand this program in depth. Here we can see if the disk is equal to b square minus 4ac. So disk is equal to 0. Disk is less than value of it. This becomes less than, and this is greater than 0. Now let's understand this program. So hash include stdio.h. This is an library function which is called as an header file, which is used to print and scanf, and it is called as a standard input-output file. Now math.h, this is the library function to perform mathematical operation. This is called mathematical header file. And now void main and the float x1 x2 a, b, c and disk. And the meaning of it is, so the void, this void represents there is no return type. The program actual execution begins from the main function. So here it begins here. So there is only one main function in all the program. Okay, which you are rewriting. There is only one program. So main function. So open braces. This open braces is the start of the function. And the float is a data type that is equal to 25.3. x1 is equal to 25.3, you can say. So x1 value is float. We call it as float whenever you use 0.1, 25.1, 25.2, like this till 25.9, it is a floating point. So you have specified this as a floating point. So here these are the variables which will accept these values, which is of type float. Okay, so now, so it will store. So x1, for example, this is an example. x1 is storing 25.3, x2 is storing 1.2, a is storing 2.0, b is storing 2.30, 3.0, C is storing 4.0. So like this, these are all the floating values that is being stored. Now printf, enter the coefficients A, B, C. So this is the program. We are trying to understand the program. So we are asking you to enter the coefficients A, B, C. So now scanf, %f, 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 accept the value of first A value, B value and C value. So all these values are accepted. And now the meaning of it. Enter the coefficients A, B and C. So this is the coefficient that is accepted to work on the program. Now scanf, this displays to tell the person who is working to accept the ABC on the console. Okay. Now scanf, %f, %f, %f and A and B and C will accept the value of which is typed by the user, and it is stored in A, B and C. So this A is placed here, B is placed here, C is placed here. So all these values are accepted. And now if the input for A is equal to 2, for input for B is equal to 3, input for C is equal to 4, now we have A is stored, A is equal to 2, it's stored like this. Okay, so A is equal to 2 is stored, and it is stored in an address. Okay, this is equal to 001, it is an address. So at this you have %f, so it is an address which it will be stored, and value. So you can see here, so this and represents the address, this and represents the address, and A value is stored here. So this 001 is the address and 2 is the value which is stored in A. So this and represents the address. In this address 001, value 2 is stored in A. So that is what, in this address value 2 is stored in A. So this address varies, this cannot be the same. Now disk is equal to B into B minus 4AC. So this will determine the disk value. So B square minus 4AC. So B square minus 4AC is similar to B square minus 4AC. So that is called a discriminant. If B square minus 4AC is positive, there are two solutions. B square minus 4AC is 0. There are one real solution. B square minus 4AC is negative. There are complex solution. So let us see an example of this. Now at the beginning A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3 and C is equal to 4 is given. So this is what is given. So it will be 2x square and thing, the quadratic equation. So disk is equal to B square minus 4AC. So it will be B, there is 3 into 3 minus 4AC. This is 3 into 3 minus 4AC, and this becomes disk is equal to 9 minus 32. So this becomes disk is equal to minus 23. If A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3 and C is equal to 4, and the disk value is minus 23, and which is negative. So disk is negative. Now this is the condition inside the program. So is the disk 0? No, disk is negative. So it will not come into this loop. It will go to the next one. Else if disk is greater than 0, no, disk is negative. So it will not come here. So it will go to the next one. So disk is negative, so it will come here. So it will come here. So there are two roots. X1 is one root, X1 is one root, X2 is one root. So X1 value is defined as minus B divided by 2 into A. So let's solve this problem. X1 is equal to 3. So you have B value is 3 and 2 into 2.0 is 2 into 2.0. 2 into 2.0, that is equal to minus 0.75. And then X2 is equal to square root of absolute of disk divided by 2 into A. So square root of absolute value of 23. So this is minus 23. What is the disk value? When you are taking the absolute value, so negative is not considered, it becomes 23 divided by 2 into 2. So it becomes 4.79 divided by 4, that is equal to 1.19. So now here roots are imaginary. So now here we display this, the first root as %f. This %f is this minus 0.75 plus I, this plus I, and this is 1.19 I. And now second one is the second root. If %f minus I. So same thing, minus 0.75 minus of 1.19 I. So this I is placed here. So this is displayed on the screen. So if the disk is negative, which we solved, if A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3, and C A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3, and C is equal to we are not looking at the C is equal to 4. So now you have the disk value as there are two roots we have found, and now consider the another input. A is equal to 1, C is equal to 1, and B is equal to 2. Under this condition, so disk is equal to B square minus 4AC. So B square minus 4AC, where disk is equal to 2 into 2 minus 4 into 1 into 1. This is the disk value. It is B square minus 4AC. So it is equal to 4 minus 4, that is equal to disk is equal to 0. So now the disk value is 0. Now it will check the condition. Is the disk is equal to 0? Yes. It comes here. Disk condition is true. This condition is true. So it will come inside this, and the disk is equal to 0. It comes into this condition. So x1 is equal to minus b by 2 into a. x2 is equal to minus b by 2 into a. That means roots are real and equal. Okay. So x1 is equal to minus 2 divided by 2 into a is equal to 1. So it is minus 1. x2 is equal to minus 2 divided by 2 into 1, that is equal to minus 1. So roots are real and equal. So you display it here. First root is percentage f, that is equal to minus 1. Second root is percentage f, that is equal to minus 1. Minus 1 and minus 1, that is roots becomes equal. Roots are real and equal. Now let's look to the next condition, where now consider another input. A is equal to 1, C is equal to 1, and B is equal to 3. So you have b square is equal to 3 into 3 minus 4 into 1 into 1. So this becomes disk is equal to 5. That is equal to 9 minus 4. That becomes 5. So disk is equal to 5. So disk value is greater than 0. Now it will check this condition. Is this greater than 0? Yes. Disk is greater than 0. So it will check this condition, and it will come x1 is equal to minus b plus of square root of disk divided by 2 into a, and x2 is equal to minus b minus. So difference between these two is here it is plus and here it is minus, and the rest is the same. So here x1 is equal to minus 3 plus square root of disk is 5 minus disk is 5 divided by 2 into 1. So here minus 3 minus of this minus of square root of 5 divided by 2 into 1. So this comes as minus 0.38. This becomes 2.61. So roots are real and distinct. So the printf first one percentage f is x1, that is equal to minus 0.38, and this x2 is equal to minus 2.61. So you have the when the disk is greater than 0, there are two roots, that is x1 and x2. Okay, so we have seen if it is this should be negative. So if it is if it is negative, if it is greater than 0, so this has to be changed to if it is disk is less than 0. So small correction here, less than 0, and then this roots are real and equal, and this should be less than. Okay, this should be less than 0, and this is disk is greater than 0. Okay, so now we have solved. Thank you very much.